I'm just praying that they listen to me. All this aggression in the world really getting to me. 7 dead in the church, that's a brutal story. I know the devil out here claiming his territory. That's why my grandma always tell me that she praying for me. Cause it's getting hard out here, yeah, it's getting hard out here to survive. And if it wasn't so dark, we could see the light. Cops ain't asking questions, they just shooting on sight. That's why we get so paranoid when we see them lies. I know some little boys with no fathers in their life. I know some little girls getting fondled on that night. I wish I could change the world one time. Oh, I wish I could change the world one time. I just want to change the world one beat at a time. Every second, every minute that I put into this, I've been on my grind. I just want to change the world one beat at a time. Every second, every minute that I put into this, I've been on my grind. I just want to change the world, yeah.
This is Britton NewOne, and this is On the Line, the show that promises to impact and empower our community. As you can see, we're already off to a great start. We're already bringing the fire to the set. But before we get started, let me inform you as to how to follow us. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at On the Line TV Show. And you can also link up with us at hashtag Watch on the Line. You just heard the sounds of Pride Lion. My girl is the bomb. But we also have 3 other people with us tonight, and they come from a group, and I hope I get this right. It's called Kiamsha? Kiamsha. Okay, yeah. Kiamsha. And with us, we have Alicia, and also Leslie on the far end there, and Mr. DeAndre here in the middle. But before we get to them, I want to get back to my girl, Pride Lion. You know, and I know that was the bomb, y'all. Y'all gonna love that. She has quite a remarkable career, a remarkable story, and I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit about herself. We'll start the show off with Pride. Pride?
Well, I'm an independent female artist / entrepreneur. I've been doing this music since I was about 9 years old. Just in and out of doing music, church, school, everything, even prison. So, you know, that's included in my story, definitely. But I definitely have a story to tell through my music. And I want to empower people through my music also, because I've been through a lot myself. And especially as a young girl, I've definitely been through a lot. But it's really about it for right now.
Well, before we stop it and cut it a little short, let me be honest with this audience. Mm-hmm. This young lady is like a daughter to me. She's very special to me. We have quite a bond. She's my bonus child. Okay, and she's also the voice on the soundtracks for my play, The Miracle. That was a piece that she sung earlier that was from the play The Miracle that she composed especially for the play, and fantastic job. The reason why she's on the show tonight along with our other guests is because this is in part of our series that Inside the Minds of Our Youth. And what we like to do is we like to expose our youth in a different light. You know, we hear so much negativeness in today's society. There's so much violence, so much disruption in our communities. And I thought that on this Friday, we're going to proclaim this Good Friday, right? Because there's going to be some good action going on up here. We're going to get a chance to hear from some solid youth that are doing some remarkable things. So I kind of just wanted to bring pride out because it's so many of our young girls now that are, you know, that are out here and wanting to embark upon the industry. As a matter of fact, can you tell us how difficult is it to break into this industry?
Well, as a female, first of all, it's always harder for us to get in the industry. If you're not taking your clothes off, if you're not exposing yourself in a bad manner, then the industry might not want you. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, I mean, it's starting to change up. It seems like that they're letting you be yourself more. But a lot of people aren't signing either. So a lot of people don't want to deal. I'm one of those people. I don't want to deal. So unless it's a distribution deal. But if it's not that, then I don't want it because I don't want to change up what I do and who I am as a person. You know, I'm always be me. At the end of the day, you know that about me. I'm always be me. But I really think that it's hard for us because of that situation, and then, you know, guys are like overpowering everything. I mean, you even got music out here that don't even make sense anymore, but it's like, okay, it's a guy, it's a good beat, and we're gonna roll with it.
Right. Well, that song that you certainly sung for the play, that you composed for the play, it makes perfect sense. You know, it's a young woman that's saying that she wants to change the world, you know, just one time. Elisa. Leslie, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Leslie. I have to keep that straight. Leslie.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about your organization, who you are and what your organization is about?
Absolutely. So we are Kiamsha Youth Empowerment Organization, and Kiamsha is Swahili for that which awakens me. All right. We were founded in 1992, and we are from Prince George's County, and we are a youth-led organization. They put on different presentations. We have our annual end of the year summit that we prepare for through our Monday meetings. We do that every Monday, right, guys? Yes. So I'll let the youth finish talking a little bit, but I am the co-director of the steering committee, so I work with the youth every week.
So before we move on to them, you said whose county?
Prince George's County.
Okay, because I know we're from Hamilton County.
Sorry, Prince George's County.
Okay, Prince, and that's located where?
In Southern Maryland, right beside
Southern
DC.
Maryland. Okay,
so we're in that area.
I just want to make sure I get that right.
Yep.
My viewers hear that right.
Yep, Prince George's County.
On our stage tonight, everybody that's on our stage is actually from out of town.
Okay.
And that's, you know, I thank you all so much for traveling here. So now let's move on to DeAndre.
Well, I've been in Kiamsha since I was 13, 8th grade, starting in 8th grade I was in Kiamsha, and since then I've learned how to become a better speaker, how to work with my peers, and we've learned many principles that we practice in Kiamsha that show us how to show other people our age how to abstain from sex and drugs, premarital sex, drugs, violence, things like that. And hopefully we expand and get to go different places all the time. And then we can reach a wider audience with our message.
Right. Now, what were some of those principles? Can you give me a couple of those principles?
Yeah. A principle is conviction versus preference. And a preference is a decision that you make based off a situation, something. So it changes based off different situations, and the conviction is something that you stick to no matter what, and no matter what the situation, you will always follow that conviction.
Wow. It's amazing that you targeted conviction because I see a lot of conviction in you as a young man. And I'm going to come back to you because I have a question that I want to ask you specifically.
Sure.
But let's move on to Leslie.
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
I'm getting these names all. So, okay, Alyssa and you're Leslie.
Yes.
Okay, Alyssa.
Okay. So, well, I started Kiamsha in 8th grade. I'm in the 11th grade now. And so it really has helped me with my public speaking, you know, working with my age, like he said, and just working on me finding who I am and finding my voice. And definitely my favorite, I have two favorite terms, and it is compromising situation, and, you know, putting yourself in a situation that can compromise your morals. And my other one is absolute truth, you know, truth all around, you know, all the way around.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So what would be a situation that would compromise your morals?
You know, a situation probably at like a party or something. You see people doing different, like drinking, doing drugs. You know, and if I go there, I would be in a compromising situation that will corrupt my morals. That I don't drink, do drugs, and so that would be an example.
So what do you do as a youth, as a young adult? Do you go to parties, particular parties, or?
I do go to parties, but
Okay.
the parties I go to, I don't see the drinking and the drugs.
Okay. So they're usually people that are headed in the same direction that you are, you know, and that's really like fuel to achieve in the same direction that you're.
Yes.
Okay, great. And let me come back to you, young man, because you said some things that really led me to think about peer pressure. Okay, and I realized that most of our youth are confronted with a lot of peer pressure, particularly our males. So how difficult was it for you to make the choices that you've made and, you know, dealing with peer pressure as well? Was that a big deterrent?
Well, actually, peer pressure, I haven't really had any problems with being influenced by peer pressure. Mostly because most of the friends that I have had are people I've been friends with for a long, long time. We've been going to the same schools and the same neighborhoods, and they don't oust me or judge me particularly for not doing drugs and participating in those type of activities. And yeah, that's mostly why it hasn't been difficult for me. But for other people who like are getting into a new environment and meeting new people and who want to fit in, it might be harder for them, which is why we do what we do.
Okay. And, you know, I'm going to propose some of these same questions to Pride. You know, how difficult was it for you when you decided to change your life around and the peer pressure that you had before going to prison, those who probably had expectations of how you were going to act and behave once you got out, you know, because, you know, when we sit around, you know, and we have these dreams and we talk about our dreams and, you know, there's a lot of naysayers. So how big of a factor was peer pressure for you?
Peer pressure was a very big factor, actually, because when I was you guys' age, I was like running the streets. I didn't really have to run the streets, but I just chose to run the streets, and my mom wasn't having it, so, you know, she left me where I was at, you know, and I gained a lot of so-called friends because they really weren't friends, and, you know, I didn't know that at the time because I was young.
Right.
Now I know this to this day, like, I don't mess with too many people like that, but peer pressure was big because when I came home, like I said, I was running the streets and people expected me to do the exact same thing.
Okay.
And it's crazy because it was like a part of me wanted to do it. Because I'm like, I used to sell drugs, I used to rob people, I used to do all types of stuff. So it was just like, it was like when those times when I was down, and I didn't have any money, and I didn't have a car, and I couldn't find a job because I'm a felon. I started making excuses for myself, and then I start finding myself trying to figure out how to find those people again to run the streets. Let's do this, let's do that, you know. But what really changed my mind a lot is my daughter. You know, my daughter is their age. You know, she's 15 years old. So it's like, being around her and wanting to be a better influence on her. I mean, she's seen me 6 years in prison, you know, and I always tell her, you know, don't follow behind me. Don't do the things that I did. Don't fall into peer pressure also, because it's hard in school. It's real hard. I mean, seriously, like it's bad for kids nowadays. It's worse than what it was when we were in, you were in school, I was in school.
Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth now. Watch your mouth.
You know, I mean, I'm
producer.
just saying, it's just worse, you know, it's worse time, so it's like, man, but yeah, peer pressure was it was hard. It was hard not to go rob somebody when I felt like it was easy back then, you know, and it's hard to just keep praying and staying, you know, keeping your faith strong in God. And that's me, you know, no matter what I am, no matter what I look like, no matter what I do, I always keep faith in God, because it's like it's been carrying me and carrying me and carrying me, you know. Yeah, but peer pressure it's out here.
It's a good thing you're my girl. You know that. I'm looking at you like, okay, you dropped one on me now. You know, I already got a complex about this little girl.
Oh, you learned well.
So let me shift back over to, let me try to get this right, Leslie.
Yes.
Leslie. See, my producer put them out of order. So at any rate, Leslie,
Yes.
how wonderful is it to work with, and I imagine that you may be a couple of years older than they are. So
Yeah, just a couple.
So how amazing is it to work with youth? You know, can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. It really does my heart, you know, wonders when I work with youth like DeAndre and Alyssa, because especially with them, I saw them come in at the 8th grade, and I've been able to see them grow, you know, and learn from the different principles we are teaching them. Learn how to put on presentations on their own, you know, and we're only there in the background just to answer a couple questions for them. But they are really growing up, and it really does make me proud to see our students really take in the principles, apply it to their lives, and then go out and tell other youth about it. So we actually did that today during our annual youth day. They did a presentation talking about Dr. King, Dr. Woodson, and all that they have done, and really letting the youth know at Withrow University High School that this is your history.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
use this to make our lives better, and really think about, well, what am I going to do at this current time to make to change the world.
Yeah,
it's catchy, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's catchy.
So it's really great working with the youth. We have typically around 20 students average. It goes up some years, down some other years. But we really, really do have a great time.
Yeah, I would imagine, I would venture to say that, you know, if you have 20 or if you have 2, we're winning.
Absolutely.
Now, what I like to ask is, is there anything that you all could take away from Pride's story? We talk about some of our historical figures, and that's great. That's great. But how can we implement in educating others from your perspective about someone that has had some ups and downs in life, someone that's closer to your area than not? Because, you know, when we talk about some of those historical figures, there's Martin Luther King. He's so far removed from your age group. Even though she has children your age, she's still much, much closer. So what would you take away, and what would you deliver to our youth?
But what I take away is, like, definitely surrounding yourself with people that are there to see you succeed and want to see you win. So that's why.
Fantastic.
Well, if we were to go to a school and do what we do and present to the students a story like Pride Lions, then I feel like it would make it all the more relatable, because there's some people out there who haven't been on the straight and narrow the whole time. And they might need a story, a pick-me-up story,
Okay.
a success story,
Yeah.
something to make them think that it's possible, let them know.
It can happen.
And it's good that it's a story from someone young, because you hit the youth first. Hit the youth, because that's who's coming up in the world. That's who's going to be running the world in a few years, in 20 years, 5, 10.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's great. That's great.
Absolutely.
And what is it that you could take away from them? Is it something that you could take away? And you've already done it, actually. Even with your song, Change the World. You know, I think that, you know, in looking at your own past, you know, you incorporated much of the ills that affect our youth today. And I know you're conscious in that area. Can you speak to that?
I'm definitely, I'm definitely all about the youth. I talk to my nieces and nephews and little cousins, and because, like he just said, you know, I've been through it. I can relate in so many ways, on so many different levels. With little girls getting pregnant at a young age, with going to jail, you know, feeling like you got it all figured out, not listening to parents, not listening to people who really are there for you and actually care for you, and you like kind of push them to the side. Actually working for things that you want in life and not taking from someone. It's just, I mean, I could go on and on. You know, I've been out here homeless. I've been out here without nothing, you know, and you know that, you know, and it's just crazy, you know. I really can speak for, so nobody really can tell me. If I was to go talk to a school, you know, I would, you know, nobody can tell me that it's too hard because of this, and this.
That's right.
I don't have parents, so and I don't have Jordans on my feet, so I feel like, you know, I'm not as good as everybody else, you know. 'Cause my daughter has a problem with that. You know, she suffers from low self-esteem, and I understand where she comes from, because it's hard dealing with low self-esteem when you really don't even know what it is. You know, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I empower my child first, and if I went to a school, I would empower other kids just like I do with my nieces and nephews. I would treat them all the same, you know, to let them know it's a better way. But school should be the first focus. I always say that.
Right.
That'll probably be the first thing I would say during my speech at school. School is the first thing you need to worry about right now, as of now in your age.
That's right.
If you in sports or something like that, that goes along with school. Because you got to be good in school to keep doing sports.
That's right.
You know?
You definitely
But it's all about education. And, you know, a lot of moms and dads out here, they're not educating their kids. They're not giving them any type of hope for real. It's kind of like, okay, well, you got homework, you sure? You go, okay, whatever. Do it. But never go check it. You know, it's just little stuff. It's little stuff that we can start doing, you know, just like what she's doing. You know, I would love to do something like that. You know, I would love to go speak and talk to different kids about what I've been through and, you know, how I'm still standing here. Because I really should be gone.
Right.
You know, either still in jail or, you know, but I just turn my life around and
Well, I think you do
it's
that.
been working.
I think you do that. You do that so well through your music, through our play.
Yeah.
You did that so well. We have
Yeah.
a scene, and I would love to have you youth in the play. We have a scene and where they're outside playing, and Dream, she plays Dream, and Dream is searching for a way out and a way to connect and bring her brother from out of the streets, you know, before tragedy hits. And so you do a great job of
Thank you.
utilizing your gifts.
Yeah.
I understand that there's some poets that's along with your group,
Yes.
you know, and that's another way to really like get the message out. I think I'm being told it's how much time now? 4 minutes? Okay, great. We are closing down to 4 minutes in this segment, but we're gonna come back for part 2. And we'll go on from there. But before we do, you know, I just kind of want to touch on some other important issues. And one being the recent gun violence, you know, and it's happening in all our communities. It's happening here in Cincinnati, it's happening in Dayton, it's happening in Maryland.
Yeah.
Can you all speak, you can start it off. How do you guys view this? What's your take on it?
Well, especially coming from, you know, our stance, we want to abstain from violence. That's one of those things that we really do hone in on. Actually, our presentation to the young people at Withrow was about that today. So this is something that we actively need to work on in our communities. And I think it goes back to a lot of what Pride Line said. You have to have that want within yourself. What can I do to make my community better? It has to start with one. And then you talk to your youth, or you know, you talk to other youth, and then it spreads and it spreads and it spreads. So that is definitely something that really needs to be a focus within the community, and really just taking care of one another. You know what I mean? So that's my take on that.
We always explain how Martin Luther King was a nonviolent man, and we explain how what he did, like how it brought us here today, like his impact. And when you compare his impact and what he did, being nonviolent, to someone using a gun, what did it get them? Jail time or death.
Phenomenal.
And definitely, I was in the skit today that we put on. It was nonviolent. And it was about Dr. King's mission of nonviolence. And I definitely, what I got from this skit is the moral force is much more powerful than a physical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you say that again? Can you look into the camera and say it again?
Moral force is more powerful than a physical blow.
You've heard it. And as my mother always said, from the mouth of babes, you know, we find the truth in some of the most unexpected areas. And here today, you know, you got an opportunity to, you know, to hear our youth put it on the line. They're keeping it on the line, they're keeping it real, and they're speaking truth. Pride has been here, and she's giving it up. Look, one of the things that I wanted to do in our segment inside the mind of our youth was to really address some of the things that go on with our young females, you know. And I'm glad that I have two young women, well, a younger woman and a young woman, to really like talk about their struggles and, you know, getting to where they are. And it's been such an honor to hear you speak. You are so dynamic, young lady.
Thank you.
And so, excuse me. Okay, my producer, she's giving me instructions. So tell us how to follow you guys.
Yes, you can follow us at kiamshayouth.org. That is our website. Or our handle is at kiamshayouth on Instagram, Twitter as well.
Okay,
So
great.
follow us.
Great. Pride.
You can follow me at IamPrideLion.com. I am Pride Lion everywhere. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on Pandora. Look me up. Spinrilla, iTunes, Apple Music. I'm on everything. So just look me up.
And that's great. And as you know, I am Britton NewOne Carter. And you can always find me on the line. Peace.